cannot predict. So even I think for a big company like Starbucks, they need to do that. So these are just more views of the Starbucks concept. We went into great lengths actually acquiring old pieces of furniture and antiques, well, 20-year-old antiques for this concept to make it as authentic as possible, even down to the, you see how the Venetian blinds are crooked at the top? They're always like that in the real Bing Sat, very important. And we also, of course, did a lot of merchandising work for them as well. Yeah. This is another project that we did for one of our sponsors here today. Back in 2004, when they first launched the Xbox, we did a series of limited edition consoles for them. And we also did a lot of their shop displays. This is actually in the G.O.D shop. I offered our shop window for them, and so that at the time, back in 2004, people could actually have the first tryout of the Xbox console. So we decorated our window this way, and customers can actually walk through and in and try out the consoles. So this is somebody trying out, playing an Xbox. So people were in the street. It was actually, unfortunately, it was just before YouTube was very popular, because it's just the sort of thing that people would download. Anyway, this is our famous mooncakes, which is available now to order. The thing about the mooncake, for the benefit of English-speaking people, is that the moon is actually common in English, being the bum. Yeah, you moon somebody. So so it's a mooncake. But the thing is, there are a lot of Chinese traditions that are unreasonably traditional. I don't know why Chinese things just don't tend to change or evolve with the times. So when you think mooncakes, you always think that same shape and fatty and stuff. So I think it's actually down to us Hong Kong designers to come up with something hip and funky in order to maintain this tradition, because young people would just not eat the traditional mooncakes. It's just so unhealthy. But I think if it was done in a way that is cool, so young people would still eat it. So this is an old tradition that still can be maintained. So anyway, there are 8 versions of this mooncake. And when you buy it, you don't know which one you're going to get, because the box is the one down below. Yeah. Okay. Again, this is another deviation of our business. Ever since we did the Starbucks concept, we've been asked to do a lot of installations as well, things that happen outside our shop. And I guess none of you are really old enough to remember this. I am. I was around, I remember living in Kowloon side in the 70s, and I remember seeing this building, and this is actually Kowloon Sengzai. It's the Kowloon walled city. It's a huge city block of clustered buildings that have been sort of built up in over 800 years, and it's just completely awesome. And but it was demolished in the late 80s because it was just full of prostitutes and drugs and lawlessness. But I thought it was a real shame because to me, the Kowloon Sengzai walled city represents some sort of resistance against everything that's invading Hong Kong, including Western culture. I think it's important that in Hong Kong we need to retain a sense of local identity, because I really feel that as Hong Kong becomes more and more modern, we're also becoming more and more westernized to the expense of local culture. And I think the strength of Hong Kong has always to be a fusion of East and West. It mustn't be too much East and too much West. It has to be a balance. And I wanted to recreate this walled city to remind Hong Kong people the importance of resistance. And I actually chose to build a replica in 1/10 scale in concrete as a reminder, as a piece of artwork. This was featured in the Hong Kong Art Biennale end of last year. And this is actually the original location of the Biennale. It's actually on the waterfront, right in front of the iconic Hong Kong skyline. I think it's a very poignant reminder because it really slaps it right in front of all these Western-style buildings. And I just wanted to remind people that local architecture is very important too in our city. This was featured in Art Fair earlier this year. It's a piece of the Kowloon Wall City, but this time it's done in copper, and it's actually in a series of 5 separate towers. I don't know if you've been to the art fair this year. This would have been in the middle of the installation. This was quite an expensive piece. It was subsequently sold to a collector from Europe. I never thought that I'd be doing an art installation of this scale. But again, it's a new departure for our company. And almost there, finally, we have Delay No More. And well, Delay No More kind of started, well, everybody knows actually, if you from Hong Kong school, everybody knows what is Delay No More. And how it happened was, a few years ago, we were arrested over a T-shirt design. It would have been big news in Hong Kong. We were, for 3 days, we were headline news because we created this T-shirt which offended the police. It just said 14K, and 14K happens to be a member of, happens to be the name of a triad gang in Hong Kong. And apparently in Hong Kong, you're not supposed to mention triads. So that's why we were arrested. And at the time, it was quite scary actually, but because I never knew that mentioning the triads is an offense in Hong Kong, because you have a lot of movies about triads, and yet you're not allowed to make a T-shirt about it. So we were a little bit surprised, but we actually got a lot of fan mail and support from people saying, you really should, I mean, if you believe in it, you should really stand up for it. Because I think a lot of people feel that in many ways, Hong Kong is a very conservative society. And being conservative is the opposite of being creative. I think it's actually impossible to be creative and at the same time conservative. Because to be creative, you need to be experimental. You need to try things that are sometimes shocking or have an actual point of view. So we had a lot of support from people, and they encouraged us to do things which are more sort of in your face. And that was kind of how Delay No More first started. Because also I've been sort of like a bit dogged by this idea that G.O.D has always got to be retro, has always got to look at older sources in order to come up with Hong Kong identity. Why can't it be modern? Why can't it be new? So actually for me also, Delay No More was a way to do Hong Kong culture without looking retro. And for the benefit of you who don't know what Delay No More means, it means you mustn't delay. It must. All right, so all you need to do, Westerners, is that go through the Hong Kong food markets, the wet markets in Hong Kong, and you hear a lot of Chinese people telling you not to delay. It actually means fuck your mother. Yes, it's a very crude Hong Kong term, but it's so common. It's so widely used that the original meaning of the word, it's not there anymore. So, but I think it's quite funny because everybody in Hong Kong knows it. And it's also quite, in English, I mean, in the phonetic sound of it, it actually makes a lot of sense to Hong Kong people, because Hong Kong people don't want to be left out. They don't want to miss something, like a good conference like this. They should come, see. So it's actually very Hong Kong as well. So in a way, it's kind of ironic. And we decided to do these T-shirts in very simple font. And it actually sold really well, surprisingly. I mean, I never thought people would be buying T-shirts from a furniture shop. But anyway, when you print Delay No More, it sells very well. And even Greenpeace asked us to help them with their campaign. And this is actually Greenpeace's idea. Yeah, it helps them very well. Even Emily Lau, the local democratic person, she used democracy, delay no more. You know, it helps her, it works for her. So it's actually very versatile, this word, delay no more. So that should be the first word you learn, Westerners coming to Hong Kong. Last year we did also even swatched us for the delay no more slogan. So they have now is the time, delay no more, and this was produced as a limited edition watch in 2009. Yeah. This is a range of stationery products that we did for a French company, Clairefontaine. They are one of Europe's largest stationery companies. And they produced a range of delay no more stationery products. And it's interesting that they paired, the words I made up for them are actually appropriate to the product. Like, for instance, you have, for the notebooks, stop writing me off, delay no more. And say for the pen pot down below, you have put pen to paper. So actually, delay no more is presented in a way that is positive. It's not about swearing, actually. It's about don't hesitate, don't delay, don't procrastinate. These are the Clairefontaine diaries that we did. Yeah. This is, yeah, more Clairefontaine stuff. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of our products come from customer feedback, and a lot of our customers find that they're too restricted in their underwear. So they asked us to come up with really form-fitting underwear, make them really look sort of stick out and, you know, three-dimensional. Even our packaging for the delay no more underwear is three-dimensional. Yeah, I never thought I'd be designing underwear, but again, that's another departure for our company. And actually, we're planning to open delay no more standalone shops for the future, smaller. So this will be sort of a sideline of G.O.D. And oops, what happened here? Oh, I think we've just ended. So anyway, I think the point of the business is I still feel like a startup. I feel like one of you because the future of my company is uncertain. I'm sure it'll be surprising, but I think it's important to keep it twisting and turning because you never know where my next business success is going to come from. So good luck. Thank you very much.